And we also have my session in Ajelia Hall, which starts on 4:15. So anyone who's interested in my session, please go to the Ajelia Hall. So again, let me introduce our last session. It's a session about sustainable city tourism, meeting the needs of the modern traveler, city planning for success. Again, let me introduce our moderator, Dr. Daekwan Kim, the professor of College of Hotel and Tourist Management in Kyunghee University. Please give him a round of applause.
예, 안녕하세요. 방금 소개받은 경희대학교 김대관 교수입니다. 청중분들이 한국분들이 다수라 그냥 한국어로 진행하면 될 것 같고, would you turn your receiver channel number 2 translate to English? Okay. Maybe number 3 might be Chinese and number 1 is Korean, I think so. 오늘 주제가 지속가능한 도시관광에서 여행자들이 필요한 성공적인 도시계획 요건, 그래서 숙박 및 관광명소, 녹지공간, 교통 등으로 설정되었습니다. 저희가 할당받은 시간이 총 70분 정도 됩니다. 그래서 세 분의 발표자가 있는데 세 분께서 한 15분씩 각자 발표를 해주시면 다 끝나고 나서 각자 디스커션 사항이 있으면 디스커션을 하고 청중 토론을 듣는 시간을 가지도록 하겠습니다. 발표자들을 우선 다 전부 먼저 소개시켜 드리고요. 발표를 하겠습니다. 우선 발표 먼저 하고 나중에 소개 먼저 하고요. 예. 첫 번째 발표해 주실 분은 순천시에서 순천만 보존과장을 직책을 맡고 계신 공학 박사이신 심순섭 과장님이십니다. 네, 반갑습니다. 두 번째 발표자는 시드니 비즈니스 이벤트에서 제너럴 매니저를 맡고 계시는 한나 제이미슨이십니다. Would you give her a big hand? 오케이, 세 번째 발표자는 홍콩 교육대학에 재직하고 계신 닥터 청 루이스입니다. 네, 그럼 첫 번째 발표자이신 심순섭 과장님께서 순천 베이 Wise Decisions of Citizens, 순천만 현명한 선택이라는 주제로 발표를 해 주시겠습니다. 큰 박수로 환영해 주시면 고맙겠습니다.
네, 안녕하십니까. 순천만 보존과장 심순섭입니다. 지난 9월 27일 EU에서 그린 데스티네이션 탑 100에 순천만이 선정됐습니다. 어떻게 보면 순천이 세계 생태관광지 100선에 선정된 것을 저희들은 통지를 받았습니다. 거기에 많이 축하해 주시기 바랍니다. 그럼 지금부터 현명한 순천만 결정에 대해서 발표하도록 하겠습니다. 순천시는 남서쪽에 28만의 인구 작은 도시입니다. 도시는 작지만은 순천만 습지 또 동천 하구 습지라는 지역에 두 개의 람사라 습지가 등록되어 있고 우리나라 최초의 순천만 국가적은 1호로 지정된 곳이기도 합니다. 매년 550만 명의 순천만의 자연과 순천의 생태 관광을 직접 느끼기 위해서 순천을 많이 방문하고 있는 지역입니다. 도시와 생태관광의 성공 과정을 간단히 소개하도록 하겠습니다. 우선 순천만의 생태관광지의 그 아름다움을 보여드리도록 하겠습니다. 순천만의 봄의 모습입니다. 순천만의 여름의 모습입니다. 순천만의 가을의 모습입니다. 현재 10월 한 중순 정도 되면 이 모습을 벗을 수 있습니다. 순천만의 관광객이 1년에 200만 명에서 230만 명이 옵니다만은 그중에 한 40~50%가 이 가을에 많이 찾고 있습니다. 순천만의 겨울의 모습입니다. 겨울에는 한 230년 종의 철새, 겨울 철새가 순천만을 나르고 있기 때문에 순천만의 겨울철에도 많은 관광객이 찾고 있습니다. 순천만의 아름다움은 순천 시민이 현명한 결정에 의해서 있기에 가능했습니다. 이 경로는 순천만을 중심으로 이루어진 순천만 보존 활동에 대해서 나열했습니다. 1997년에는 순천만의 상류인 순천만 동천에 골체 채취를 반대했던 시기이고 2003년에는 순천만을 습지보호구역으로 지정된 것이기도 하고요. 그 다음에 2006년에는 남사로 습지에 등록되었습니다. 2009년에는 순천만의 철새들을 보호하기 위해서 전신주 282개를 철거했던 시기이고요. 2013년에는 순천에 2013년도 국제정원 박람회가 개최했던 시기입니다. 2015년에는 순천만 정원이 국가정원 1호로 지정됐던 곳입니다. 그 다음에 작년과 올해는 순천 동천에 순천 습지 동천을 하구원을 습지로 등록하고 남사르 협약에도 가입이 되었습니다. 과거 순천만에도 아픈 역사가 있습니다. 90년대는 순천만이 버려진 땅이었습니다. 각종 사진을 보면은 순천만의 쓰레기와 각종 폐기물로 몸살을 앓았던 사진입니다. 1997년에는 순천만의 보존을 위해서 중요한 해로 기억됩니다. 이때는 순천만의 골체 채취 및 개발이 예고되었고 많은 사람들이 이에 대한 큰 관심도 갖지 않았었습니다. 그러나 이때 순천만의 지역 환경단체와 교육자들이 순천만의 중요성에 대해서 시민에게 알리고 보존이 중요하다는 것을 주장을 펼치게 되었습니다. 1월에 시민들의 의식이 변화되고 순천만을 지킬 수 있는 가장 큰 계기였던 해입니다. 순천 시민운동이 순천만을 협력적 거버먼스로 제안하였고 2007년에는 순천만 보존을 위해서 민관학위 협력체제로 구성하였습니다. 의사결정기구인 순천만 습지보존위원회를 설치하여 이것을 순천만 보존과 관리를 중요한 역할을 하게 되었습니다. 협력적 거버넌스 바탕으로 더 많은 사람이 순천만의 중요성을 알게 되었고 순천만은 보호활동에 시민들이 적극 참여하게 되었습니다. 이 사진은 흙두루미가 안전한 서식을 조성하기 위해서 2009년도에 순천만 주변의 농경지에 282개의 전신주를 철거했습니다. 이는 흙두루미들이 썰물 때는 갯벌에서 먹이를 찾지만은 민물 때는 농경지에서 먹이를 찾는데 전신주로 인해서 철새들이 다치거나 죽거나 그런 한 사례가 빈번히 발생해서 시민들과 농민들이 전신주 282개를 전부 철거했던 상황입니다. 그래서 농민들이 중요한 전신주를 철거된 동기는 철새를 보호하고 또 거기에 대한 불편함을 감수함으로써 순천만을 보존하기 위해서 적극 협력했던 그런 상황입니다. 또 순천만의 주변에 오리농장 철거와 공원 내 음식점을 철거를 하는 등 환경 개선이 활발히 이루어졌고 관광객들에 대한 새로운 동선도 이루어졌습니다. 2008년도나 2007년도에 제가 현장에서 근무했던 상황입니다만은 그때도 오리농장에서 나오는 오폐수라든가 식당에서 나오는 오폐수가 그대로 순천만으로 유입된 상황이었습니다만 그분들을 설득해서 외곽으로 습지보호구역 생태계 보존지역 외쪽으로 이전하게 됐을 때 주민들과 갈등이 아주 심했었습니다. 심지어는 싸움이 일어났고 갈대에 불도 지르는 등 농경지의 경운기라든가 트랙터라든가 이런 농기계를 가로막고 시민들과 우리 관공서에 많은 대항을 하기도 했습니다만 지금은 설득을 해서 서로 협력하는 거버먼스를 이루고 있습니다. 전국 최초로 순천만 인근에 친환경 농법으로 전환하고 유색불을 심어서 흑두루미 영상으로 하는 경관 농업도 실시하고 추수가 끝나면 11월부터 3월까지 겨울새들이 월동 환경 조성을 위하여 철새 지킴이 활동과 또 벼 미수확 전추나 볏짚 전추를 인해서 생물성 다양 사업도 계속 꾸준히 사업을 추진하고 있습니다. 그래서 1999년도에는 흑도루미가 79마리에서 현재는 1432마리로 천하계 도시가 되었던 것입니다. 이 사진은 1906년대에 이르러 순천만 람사르 습지에 등록된 사진입니다. 이 등록은 시민들이 순천만을 보는 여러 가지 인식이 변화가 있던 시기도 합니다. 람사르 지정 후 순천만은 매년 200만 명의 관광객이 찾아서 순천만은 유명한 생태 관광지로 지정이 됐습니다. 성곤의 순간부터 우리는 지속적인 순천만을 보존하고 적절하게 관리하는 방법을 고민하기 시작했습니다. 그것은 순천만을 보존하는 마스터 플랜을 만들었습니다. 순천만의 부정적 영향을 최소화하기 위하여 4개 구역으로 도시를 나누었습니다. 그것은 보존지역, 버퍼지역, 전이지역, 도시지역으로 나눠서 순천시를 관리하게 되어 있습니다. 도시의 팽창을 막고 순천만 방문자가 증가하고 그런 것을 분산하기 위해서 2009년대 전이지역에 1112km/평방미터에 2013년도 정원박람회를 개최할 계획을 세웠습니다. 이로 해서 단순한 순천만의 한 지역이 아니라 도시와 연계한 토지 이용 계획에 대해서 수립하게 되었습니다. 정원박람회는 시민은 운동으로부터 시작했으나 시민 헌수운동, 그 다음에 한평 가꾸기 운동, 그다음에 순천 기관과 단체를 비롯한 주부 학생들까지 모두가 하나가 되어 1000여 명의 자원봉사도 현장에서 자원봉사를 하였습니다. 박람회장의 돌과 나무는 순천과 목포 간 고속도로 88고속도로에서 공사군에서 버려질 뻔한 자원을 재활용하는 것으로 순천만을 구성하였습니다. 순천만 정원 박람회는 2013년도에 440만 명의 방문객이 찾아왔고 경제 활성화에도 충분히 기여하였습니다. 순천을 찾는 모든 국민은 순천만 보존을 기여한 셈입니다. 이로 인해서 수목원 정원의 조성 및 진흥 가능 법률을 찬성했고 이 법률이 순천만 정원의 국가정원 1호를 지정받게 됐습니다. 세계에서 동아시아, 중서부 아시아, 남아프리카, 북미 및 중남미 아시아의 중남미에 람사르 해방에 대한 4개 지역의 전세계 4개 지역이 람사르 지역이 있습니다. 그 지역이 1916년도 저희 호남에서 유일하게 국제기구인 동아시아 람사르 센터를 유치해서 현재 운영하고 있습니다. 동아시아 람사르 센터는 아시아 지역의 습지 보존 활동을 확대하고 우리시의 국제적 리더십을 발휘하는 동안 순천시 브랜드를 세계화에 위한 주요 거점으로도 활동하고 있습니다. 최적의 환경 습지 관리 방안으로 순천의 습지위원회를 통하여 순천이 합리적 방안을 모색하고 순천만을 찾는 마이스 사람도 활성화를 위한 노력도 계속하고 있습니다. 2016년에는 저희들이 순천만에 대한 철새 관련된 습지라든가 그런 것을 6번의 워크숍과 심포지엄을 개최한 사실도 있습니다. 우리시는 2015년도 순천 하구 습지를 국가 습지 지역으로 지정할 때 주민 공청회 전 지역을 대상지보다는 오히려 면적이 늘어났는데 이 점은 과거의 습지보호구역 생태계 보존지구를 지정을 통한 순천 시민이 제한구역에 대한 거부감이 거의 없었던 것으로 보입니다. 이로써 두 번째 람사르 습지인 동천 하구 습지 5.4km/평방미터를 지정하게 이르렀습니다. 순천은 생물권 보존지역으로 지정하기 위한 준비를 박차를 가하고 있습니다. 다음 그림은 같은 도시 전체적으로 순천 생물권 보존지역을 지정화해서 밑그림을 그리는 그림이 되겠습니다. 특히 순천만 국가정원은 도심의 순천만으로 팽창하는 것을 막고 도시의 팽창하는 것을 막고 버퍼존을 역할을 하고 있으며 올해부터 순천만 생태연구소를 운영하게 되어 순천만의 수질, 갯벌, 생물을 조사 연구하는 기능을 수행할 것으로 봅니다. 앞으로 계획은 2018년도에 생물권 보존지역을 전 지역을 생물권 보존지역으로 지정하고 람사르 습지 도시로도 인증과 함께 2019년에는 유네스코 세계자연유산 등재를 위해서 준비하고 있습니다. 이상으로 PPT를 보고를 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 수고 많으셨습니다. 순천만 우리나라에서 최고로 아름다운 어떤 생태 관광지죠. 거기에 대한 그동안의 진행되었던 상황을 잘 정리해서 발표해 주신 것 같습니다. 우리 한국 상황을 들었다면 이제 해외 상황을 한번 좀 경청할 필요가 있습니다. 우리 한나 제미슨께서 시드니 Changing for Tomorrow라는 주제로 발표를 하겠습니다. 큰 박수로 환영해 주시기 바랍니다.
How this works. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon and to share some of Sydney's thinking, planning and achievements relating to sustainability and tourism. It's a tough spot being in the last session of the day, but thank you for staying and I look forward to sharing with you. I'm not driving. Sydney, to most people, conjures up images of the Opera House or the Harbour Bridge. Some people know that these two renowned icons are located on the world's largest natural harbour. Some people know that Sydney is home to 6 World Heritage Sites, one of which is the world's second oldest national park. Whoops, go back. 60 minutes from Sydney, these 16,000 hectares were preserved in 1879. Sustainability, it's in our DNA. From way back, and it remains today. Our community wants a city that cares about the environment and has a strong economy and that connects its people not only to each other but also to the rest of the world. This was the inspiration behind the City of Sydney Sustainable 2030, a set of goals for our city to help make it as green, global and connected as possible by 2030. Beyond the City of Sydney's goals, coordinated state planning and community consultation is behind a plan for tomorrow's Sydney. In recent years, we've seen the New South Wales Government establish Infrastructure New South Wales, who identify and prioritise the delivery of critical public infrastructure. They've delivered a 20-year infrastructure strategy and are now in the process of rolling out 5-year implementation plans. We have Urban Growth New South Wales, who are helping to drive an internationally competitive economy by creating world-class urban areas that will transform Sydney, New South Wales and Australia. They're focusing on delivering vibrant, connective, inclusive, resilient and healthy urban places for people to work, live and play. And most recently we have the Greater Sydney Commission, who is striving to create a strong global city that's a great place, more livable, more productive and more environmentally sustainable. Sydney is changing. And by all accounts, we're doing okay. A recent report commissioned by the Committee for Sydney, the first amongst equals, benchmarked Sydney's performance against 36 global indices. With regards to sustainability, in Murray's Global Power City Index, the city ranked within the top 15, behind European high quality of life cities, but in front of North American counterparts, including Canadian cities. The Arcadis Sustainable Cities Index offers a broader view, considering both economic and social aspects to sustainability on top of environmental. It places Sydney 11th globally, compared to 4th for Amsterdam, 10th for Singapore, 12th for Toronto and 19th for Chicago. There is certainly lots for travellers to see and experience in Sydney. Today I wanted to share a few precincts and properties that are helping to lead the way on Sydney's sustainability journey. There are many to choose from, so I've chosen some big ticket items, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of smaller businesses doing some equally interesting things out there. First, I wanted to take a step back to look forward. The Green Games were the catalyst for transforming Sydney Olympic Park. It was once a badly degraded area, and its remediation resulted in the successful remediation of 160 hectares of contaminated land and on-site containment of 9 million cubic metres of excavated waste in Australia's largest land remediation project. Today we have one of the largest urban parklands in Australia, totalling 430 hectares. It resulted in the development of world-class venues and facilities designed with a strong focus on energy and water conservation, sustainable materials, pollution control and waste management, as well as habitat remediation and preservation for endangered species. Today, the park is home to residents, a workforce, students and visitors who come to enjoy sporting facilities, entertainment, exhibitions and events, as well as open green space, playgrounds and cycleways. In recent years, the park has also hosted many business events, and in 2014, 25,000 people visited 2 events alone, the Rotary International Congress and the World Parks Congress. It was fitting that the Parks Congress closed with a commitment from leaders, the promise of Sydney, that will set the agenda and priorities and actions for conservation around the world for the next decade. Today, the park attracts more than double the number of visitors who came for the Games in 2000. Over 10 million people visit each year. It homes some 200 businesses and some 17,000 workers. And the future promises to be equally exciting. Under Master Plan 2030, the authority will manage the expansion of the park with sustainability principles guiding the way to support a daily population of 50,000 and up to 20,000 visitors. With a strong outdoor lifestyle and love of nature, Sydney is renowned for its green spaces. In fact, the PwC Cities of Opportunity Global Report gave Sydney 10th place overall and equal first for sustainability and the natural environment. One of the latest spaces to welcome visitors in Sydney is Barangaroo. This is a $6 billion project. It's 22 hectares of what was once concrete container wharves that have been remediated to the natural harbour line and now house a headland park and improved community and business spaces. It's carbon neutral, they're working towards water positive, zero waste and community wellbeing. It's one of 17 precincts worldwide that has been selected to participate in the Climate Positive Development Program, with selection based on world-leading sustainability targets that apply across the precinct. It's also a member of the UN Global Compact. Stage 1 opened last year. And I have a brief video to show you. Can we get the video? Thank you.
Is now not open to this city, to this country, but it is open to the world.
It's peaceful and open and serene. I love it. And you can hear water lapping on the rocks. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, it's cool. Really cool.
I think this place is fantastic.
What an incredible story. You know, all those ships coming from all around the world here. When you think about it, it just blows you away.
This park, named after Barangaroo, is so important to inspire everyone that comes here to understand that this place has an Aboriginal history. here as an Aboriginal woman. I hope that in the future it will continue to grow to be more and more beautiful, and we are able to continue to tell the stories about Aboriginal culture in Sydney and also about Barangaroo the woman.
Barangaroo, great new community spaces and a buzzing financial hub for Sydney. If we can move to the next slide, that would be good. I don't think I can do that from here. Thank you. So another example, I thought if we're talking about tourist attractions and venues in Sydney, it's really hard to ignore the big white one. And in 2015, the Opera House was awarded a 4-star Green Star performance rating from the Green Building Council of Australia, joining a handful of World Heritage listed buildings to have achieved green certification globally. When designing the Opera House 40 years ago, Utzon was inspired by nature and integrated many features now recognised as pioneering in sustainable design. An innovative seawater cooling system, considered ahead of its time, still powers the Opera House's main heating and air conditioning, while an early interpretation of the chilled ceiling design remains in the drama theatre to help control the venue's air temperature. This technology provided the great foundation for the sustainability improvements that have followed. A 2-year program of lighting upgrades has seen consumption in the concert hall drop by 75%, and a reduction in electricity costs by nearly $70,000 a year. And there's also a new cleaning regime that's helping to keep volatile organic compounds out of the air. The Opera House is also very proud of its Reconciliation Action Plan, a first for a performing arts centre that has been awarded a Green Star Innovation Points. The team there wants to ensure that the Opera House is recognised not only as one of the greatest buildings of the 20th century, but also of centuries to come. And of course, it would be remiss for me to talk today without mentioning the International Convention Centre, opening in December this year. Sydney's new convention centre will be part of a socially responsible and environmentally sensitive convention, entertainment and exhibition precinct. Darling Harbour Live, the organisation that's responsible for the construction, is registered with the internationally recognised US Green Building Council for leadership in energy and environmental design, and it's set to achieve a gold certification. The development achieves more public space, better access, and strong sustainability credentials, and we can't wait for it to open in December. In the year ended June 2016, Australia welcomed more than 7 million international visitors, an increase of 10%. They stayed nearly 250 million visitor nights, an increase of 5%. Around half of these visitors come to New South Wales, and that's coupled with close to 30 million domestic visits. And of course, there's population growth. It's not just our visitors who are growing in numbers. To manage this well, we have to have sustainability top of mind. The data reports that I mentioned earlier, while positive in terms of sustainability, did reveal some challenges. Largely, they identified Sydney's transport and infrastructure as needing some improvement, better public transport and better access. I mentioned Infrastructure New South Wales' 20-year infrastructure strategy. There is a huge infrastructure boom in the state. Some major projects underway to address this include extended and new light rail connecting our inner city and inner suburbs. This will see part of George Street become a new improved pedestrianised zone. We have the North West Rail Link, we have West Connect, we have the Parramatta Light Rail, we have new ferry wharves going in at Barangaroo, and we have the Bays Precinct and more. The New South Wales Government is spending some $70 billion on infrastructure development. And we're also very focused on being a walkable city. I encourage you to keep an eye on the Bays Precinct development, which is being headed up by Urban Growth. This project covers some 5.5 kilometres of harbourfront, 95 hectares of largely government-owned land, and 94 hectares of waterway on the Sydney Harbour. The consultation process that's leading to its development has involved international experts, local community, and more, to create the best outcome for the future. This is a 20 to 30-year redevelopment plan, and it's only just getting started. Our collaboration has resulted in achievements in terms of infrastructure, events, and attractions. Importantly, it's not just about hard infrastructure and facilities. I think Roger mentioned earlier today Vivid Sydney, which is globally renowned as the Southern Hemisphere's largest festival of light, music and ideas. It's a stunning festival and was conceived to smooth seasonal demand, important when we're thinking about the impact on the environment, business sustainability and more. It's now grown to encompass numerous business events and is not only attracting a growing domestic attendance, but also strong international attendance. Last year, this one event alone attracted 2.3 million visitors. We've also got some great examples in Sydney, and I'll whip through some of them quickly. We've heard some lovely ones this afternoon. We have Sydney Swiss Hotel makes its own honey from its beehives on its roofs. The founders of GoGet were based in Sydney, and this is a car hire, car share company. We talked about food waste and food management. Check out the name Oz Harvest. They do great things in Sydney and in Australia, collecting and redistributing food, unwanted food from hotels and venues, supermarkets and more. And one of the city's leading venues, Daltone House, Darling Island Wharf, was Sydney's first 6-star rated building. We have many stories and many more to come, and there's lots of people working hard to create those stories. So what are we doing as Business Events Sydney? Well, you've heard a number of times today mentions of the Global Destination Sustainability Index. We signed up to this earlier this year, and we were one of the first cities to participate, and we were the first city in Australia. It aims to bring cities together to benchmark and improve the social and environmental performance of the cities and business events industry, and to drive the adoption and promotion and recognition of sustainable practices in cities. So why did we take part? You've also heard a lot about leadership today, and we believe that to be leaders, we should also lead in smart, sustainable development. And to do that, we need to improve and engage with regard to our environment and social performance, all aimed at the client and meetings being held in Sydney. Being a part of this index will create value for our clients around sustainability, and it aligns with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. The benchmarking will help us to understand our strengths and challenges and develop strategies for improvement, and we're looking at that in our current business planning process. We believe that it's not a nice to do, it's a must do at this stage of our company's life cycle. It'll give us greater engagement across all of our stakeholders, not just those within the meetings industry. I think Sydney's currently ranked 9th, so we're still got a way to go. We're not number 1, but we're looking at the next iteration of results to come out at the ICA Congress in November. And I have to say I'm very humbled by Thailand's update earlier and the work they're doing. I look forward to learning from other bureaux who are also participating. As the organisation charged with securing international events for Sydney, responsible development is essential to ensure that we have a city ready for the future. The strategy and bidding for global events can begin decades in advance of the event taking place. In fact, our current pipeline stretches all the way through to 2026. A very different city awaits delegates in the next decade. And we believe that we should do something today that our future selves will thank us for. I thank you for letting us share some of our sustainability journey today, and I look forward to hearing about yours at networking afterwards.
네, 아주 시드니의 지속 가능성에 대한 노력들을 잘 정리해서 전달해 주셨습니다. 저희에게 시사하는 바가 상당히 많은 것 같습니다. 이번 세션의 마지막 발표자입니다. 홍콩 교육대학에 재직하고 계신 닥터 청 루이스께서 제목이 좀 긴데요. Improving Digital Management Approaches for the Changing Preference and Behaviors of Country Park Visitors in Hong Kong. 네, 큰 박수로 환영해 주시기 바랍니다.
All right, thank you very much. This is my honor to have my chance to present one of my research project here. And actually, I'm doing ecotourism research, particularly on the protected area visitor management. So the topics actually is kind of a challenge to me because sustainable city tourism, because majority of research I'm dealing with some nature-based destination. However, the second part of topics seems to be matched, meeting the need of the modern traveler. Right? We have to know who are the modern traveler and also their behavior and their preferences of modern traveler. So today I wanted to present a research, one of my research projects is kind of a longitudinal research project with the Hong Kong government, which is to how to know the preference and behavior of the country park visitor in Hong Kong, because they have to base on this kind of research in order to modify the visitor management strategy. Otherwise, the strategies doesn't work to manage a visitor, then it will cause a negative impact to the national, to the country park. So the background of the study is actually is, well, in Hong Kong, majority of people, they will realize that Hong Kong is a kind of a metropolitan. Majority of tourists, they're visiting Hong Kong, they are doing shopping, right? Because shopping paradise. However, in Hong Kong, actually, we've got a large scale of country park. It accounts for about 40% of the total territories in Hong Kong has been designated as the country park. And that country park actually is one of the very important recreational, nature-based recreational venue for local people and also for visitors. Particularly now, there's a huge number of mainland Chinese visitors to visit Hong Kong. And we're seeing increasing number of Chinese visitors not only go for shopping in the city center area, but also they wanted to enjoy the nature-based excursion in Hong Kong Country Park. So they play a really significant role in both locally and also for the visitor. And also in the country park, the objective of the country park is to provide recreational destination for the visitor and also for local Hong Kong residents, but also is the place that to conserve the biodiversity conservation, and therefore it has been a very important nature study area in Hong Kong. And however, in the past decades, we are seeing the change of the visitor. They are performing not only a simple excursion or going to the country parks to doing kind of barbecuing, picnicking. They are start to have in-depth. They wanted to have an in-depth understanding of the country park, including they will organize some of the tour activities to have a bird watching, insect watching, and so on and so forth. However, the previous visitor management strategy, actually they are not follow the trend of the visitor behavior and preferences. So that's why we are having a chance to the government asks us to do the research to understand about the preferences and behavior of the country park visitor. Well, the objective of the study is actually to understand the preferences and behavior of a country park visitor, because it's important for the development of a country park, particularly that we have to adapt to the behavior and preferences of visitor, that to change our visitor management strategy. And we are observed that there's the changing patterns of preference of behavior of country park visitor in the past 30 years. And this result will be important because we are, according to the result, that we are informed the governments to revise the visitor management plan for the country park management. Well, Hong Kong, actually, apart from that, metropolitans, but also they have a very large scale of a country park. It accounts for about 33% of the total territories, and it has been categorized as a protected area and corresponding to IUCN category number 4 and 5 protected area. And there are 24 country parks and 22 special area and 4 marine park and 1 marine reserve. And also we have just got a UNESCO Global Geopark in 2011, and it provides a very great opportunities for the local residents and also visitors to visit to enjoy the nature side of Hong Kong. And here's the map about the country park, you can see majority of the middle parts of the Hong Kong territories has been designated a country park, and the eastern part of the new territories and the Hong Kong actually is a country park, and also two big area has been designated a global geopark in 2011. So all this area actually very proximate, very close to the city area. You only take like 30 minutes. Take by bus, then you could be able to reach the top of the mountains. So it's really convenient and also really convenient for the visitor, even though they wanted to have a luxury hotel in the city center, right? And then they can take 30 minutes, then they could enjoy the nature destination. Well, Hong Kong Country Park, actually, they have ordinance enacted in 1973 in order to have legislative protections of the country park. A country park ordinance has been enacted in 1974, and there are continuously expansions of the country park. Up until now, we've got around 43% of the territories has been designated as a country park. And the country park actually serves three purposes. One is for nature conservation, another is for recreation, and also for education. And the country park authorities is in charge of the legal responsibility for development and management of the park. Agriculture, fishery, and conservation department is the government responsible for the management of the park. So here's the diagram indicated the increasing number of the visitor number to our country park. So you can see in the recent years, you can see the number of visiting country park reaching around 12 million people annually to visit the country park. Of course, you can see the numbers increased from 1973, only like 400,000 up to 12 million. Well, now actually the visitor management approach adopted by our country park, they use a kind of a zonation system, meaning that they use some approach, actually they zoning the country park to enhance for example, they will have kind of an intensive zone that is much more convenient to reach, and they will have a public transport to allowing majority of visitors to visit there. And those areas with higher ecological value, they will not that easy to reach. For example, you have to walk about like 1 hour, 2 hours to reach the site that is highly ecological value. And this zonation system has been used for more than 30 years for our country park visitor management. So here is the framework of the visitor management approach of our country park. They use zonation system. They divide it into two major zones. One is a recreational zone, another is conservation zone. And in the recreation zone, there are zone 1 and zone 2. Zone 1 is intensive zone. Intensive subzone is, they wanted to use intensive subzone to cluster all the majority of visitors there. Or it's a kind of a honeypot or sacrifice site. They don't really care about the ecological value being degraded, because that particular site is for sacrifice. So this is an intensive zone. And there are divergent subzone, extensive subzone, widened zone is also for recreational purpose. However, it is not for majority of the visitor. Okay, only a few numbers of the visitor, they will willing to walk along the footpath a long way, like 1 or 2 hours to visit that particular zone. And of course, there are conservation zone. Conservation zone is you couldn't find any way to go there, right? Because they are intentionally to block the road. It's not allowing visitor visit. So Zone 1, the high intensity recreation zone, actually is they have a very good accessibilities, because they can take public transport that you can reach it. And majority of this kind of area, they has been equipped with many of facilities. For example, there's a barbecue pit and also picnic site and some other facility, for example, like education center and so on and so forth. And this kind of a higher intensity zone, recreation zone is aimed to cluster the visitor, all right, and their impact in that particular zone in order to reduce the pressures of other part of the park. And it has been called, this is a sacrifice zone, right? That particular zone is for sacrifice. And zone 2 is a low intensity recreation zone. Actual majority of this kind of area have got no public transport access. And then you have to, even though you are getting near there, you have to walk for like at least 1 hour to reach the zone. Comparatively, this kind of area is highly higher ecological value. And usually, fewer recreational facilities will be there. It's only people, they are doing hiking, they are doing camping, or enjoy the scenery, they will visit there usually. And the other 3 subzones, for example, like extensive subzone and wilderness subzone, actually is also comparatively the ecological value is higher. Therefore, those areas usually cover are hilly, away from the main road and footpath. They are suitable for hiking only. So, and the conservation zone, actually, you cannot find a way to go there unless you open up the forest to go to make your way to there. But it is not advised. Not advised by the governments to visit that zone because it's a highly ecological value. So the research method for this project actually, it has been done before in 30 years ago. They have a visitor survey in our country park, and then I've done a questionnaire survey in the country park in 2011 to try to see whether the preferences and the behavior of the visitor to the country park, whether they change. And the questionnaire we designed are actually aligned with the previous study of 30 years ago. So that we will be able to compare, right, the change of the visitor behavior and preferences. So here have some of the data. We interviewed about more than 600 visitors in the country park, and majority of them are between 25 to 44 years old, and also people they are older than 45 years old is also a majority user of the country park. And there are seasonal patterns of visitors to visit the country park because Hong Kong actually is under a monsoon climate, and the most favorable seasons for visiting, doing hiking or doing outdoor recreational activities is autumn and winter. We got a really dry, cool winter. It is really favorable for the countryside activities. So you can see majority of people, over 60% of people, they are visiting country park during the seasons, winter season and autumn season. And also they are divided into various of activities in the survey that we wanted to know whether the visitor perform what kind of activities while they are visiting a country park, including nature study, nature photography, hiking, camping, picnicking, and barbecue, and nature walk. That actually you can see the distribution also have seasonal patterns that people they are having their activities in different seasons in Hong Kong. So here's a bar chart actually comparing with the previous data with previous studies. So you will see the first category, picnicking and barbecuing, right? 20 years and 30 years ago, majority of people, over 50% of the visitors to visit country park, they are performing barbecuing and picnicking, right? Meaning that the government used a strategy, zonation strategy, in order to clustering those visitors in that honeypot, in that sacrifice site is the right choice because majority of people, they were visiting there. Only a very few visitors, they will visit some place that need a long walk to reach. Therefore, they are using the zonation system to manage the visitor in the country park. However, you will see the last bar, that is 2011 data. So you can see visitor to performing barbecuing and picnicking dropped significantly, all right, from over 50% to down to less than 20%. Okay, and however, you will see some of the activities, the visitor to perform different activities increased significantly. For example, like nature study, hiking, camping, and also photography. This kind of activities will trigger those people. They would not attract by those honeypot and also sacrifice sites anymore. They intend to walk into the park, particularly to identify those high ecological value sites, all right, to seeing bird, seeing insect, and seeing high ecological value vegetation, or taking pictures. So now you will see that nature study is the most popular nature-based activities, okay, in the recent decades, and only 9% respondents participate in picnicking and barbecuing, okay, comparing with previous data 20 years and 30 years ago. So what we have to do is whether we have to change the strategy of the visitor management at country park, all right, to adapt to the changing patterns and changing behavior and preferences of the country park visitor. So we also seeing that some of that data has been tested by statistics and indicated that there are significant differences between the previous data and new data. And therefore, based on the findings, the country park visitor management, we need to modify in order to fit the changing patterns and preferences of the visitor. All right. Previously we are concentrating the more visitor into a few sacrifice sites. It's not working anymore because not many people, they are only attracted by those sacrifice sites. And visitors now, they are moved towards to ecological sensitive area, okay? And of course, this kind of protected area has been protected from development because they are they are ordinance protecting no further development could be done in the protected area. However, visitor behavior, all right, is one of the major adverse impacts providing to the country park. Therefore, in order to have a country park management, then we have to concern about the visitor management by changing the strategy of visitor management. So the conclusion and implications for this study is that we are findings that the changing patterns in the past 30 years of the visitor in Hong Kong. And previously, many studies have been done to study about the potential damages for the nature-based area is the barbecuing, picnicking, because there are a lot of people there, there are a lot of trampling, that to damage the vegetation cover in the countryside. However, now there are nature-based nature study and nature photography is one of the most popular activities performed by the country park visitor. And they are intends to visit those high ecological value sites because if they wanted to take a good picture for a particular organism, then they have to get into there in order to spot them and take picture with them. So therefore, what we have introduced as framework of visitor management, it seems to have great weaknesses to guard those people they are intends to visit the high ecological sensitive sites. So what we have to do is actually previously visitor management framework, they adopt a passive visitor strategy. And it is unable to guarantee that ecological hotspot are being disturbed, and it is very difficult to control visitor behavior in this remote location. And therefore, an alternative approach have to be considered in order to safeguard the value and also the protections of the protected area in Hong Kong. And an adaptive visitor management approach could be considered because we have to change along with the attitudes and behavior change of the visitor. And for example, the government, they would be able to do frequently visitor survey in order to support those visitor, which area where they used to visit, where they used to taking pictures of wildlife, and then they have to do something on the spot, okay, to control the behavior. And also the frequent studies of visitor preferences and behavior has to be conducted. Because Hong Kong government actually, they did visitor survey quite a long time interval, like 5 or 10 years. But with the changing of the technology, right, it's rapid changing of technology, the behavior and also preferences of visitor, they change rapidly. For example, you will see in the countryside, people, visitor, majority of, well, not majority, 99% of the visitor, they bring their camera with them, right? Particularly now you don't have to spend money to develop the photo. You just save all the photos in the memory card. And then they will try to find some place that is with higher ecological value in order to capture, right, those endangered species of bird, endangered species of organism, and then they will reaching those highly ecological value sites that if we don't really have new strategies to tackle this kind of problem, and eventually it will cause serious negative impacts to the countryside. All right, this is my sharing for my research project. Thank you very much.
직접 연구하신 연구를 발표해 주셨습니다. 아주 재미있었 발표였습니다. 이렇게 세 분 발표가 끝났는데요. 약간의 이제 발표의 그 특성들이 좀 다릅니다. 첫 번째 순천만 같은 경우는 쭉 직접 순천만의 과거에 좀 버려졌던 땅들을 가꾸어 가면서 지금은 세계적인 어떤 생태 관광지로 거듭나는 그런 과정들을 쭉 설명해 주셨고요. 시드니 같은 경우에는 현재 어반 지역에서 도시 지역에서 지속 가능성을 어떻게 고민하고 미래를 위해서 어떻게 실행할 것인가에 대해서 정리를 해주셨습니다. 아울러 홍콩의 경우는 많은 사람들이 가는 그 관광 액티비티 중에서 어떻게 자연적 친화적인 액티비티들이 연결되어 있는가를 조사를 통해서 발표해 주셨습니다. 우리 청중분들 중에서 혹시 질문이 있으면은 소속과 조남을 말씀해 주시고 아마 질문을 한국어로 해 주셔도 뒤에서 우리 통역해 주시는 선생님들께서 통역을 해 주실 것이니까는 언어 구애받지 말고 질문을 해 주시면 고맙겠습니다. 우선 제가 들으면서 재미있게 들으면서 이제 각 발표자들에게 드리고 싶은 질문이 좀 있었습니다. 우선 순서대로 말씀드리면은 순천만 같은 경우에는 사실 그동안에 많은 어떤 일들을 겪으면서 지역 사회와의 어떤 협력이라든가 이런 게 굉장히 필요했을 거예요. 근데 중간에 보니까는 뭐 오리 농장도 철거를 하고 또 음식점도 철거를 하고 이런 등등 어찌 보면 그분들의 반발을 샀을 그런 일들이 많았는데 반발이 어땠는지 또 그 반발들을 어떻게 극복하고 지금까지 왔는지 그런 경험적이 있죠. 왜냐하면 지속 가능성에서 중요한 어떤 스테이크홀더는 지역 주민이거든요. 지역 주민의 동참 없이는 상당히 힘든 작업들인데 그걸 어떻게 끌어모았는지 아마 좋은 어떤 그 케이스가 아닐까 생각합니다. 답변 좀 부탁드릴게요.
네, 제가 2007년, 8년에 순천만에 직접 근무했고 그때 오리 농장 철거도 제가 직접 했었습니다. 그다음에 그만 교수님 말씀하는 음식점도 제가 직접 싸워가면서 그분들의 반발을 이겨내면서 아까 잠깐 말씀했습니다만 갈 때도 불로 지르기도 하고 지역 주민들이 농경지에 각 농기구를 순천만 인근에 배치해서 각종 사업을 못하게 하는 그런 상황이 많이 있었습니다. 주민들이 설득을 꾸준히 했고 지금은 습지위원회라는 위원회를 구성해서 민관, 함의, 또 지역 주민이 포함된 그런 주민들이 거버넌스를 형성해서 지역을 활성화하는데 상당한 기간이 걸렸었습니다. 심지어는 각 가구마다 또 가구에서 각 가족마다의 설득도 했었고 또 그로 인해서 순천만에 이렇게 꾸준히 발전했는데 지금은 그분들이 더 협력적입니다. 지금 저희들이 순천만에 운영하면 공예공방도 있는데 거기서 1년에 한 6억 내지 7억 정도 수익이 올라오고 있습니다. 지역 주민들의 특산물, 공예작품들도 많이 진열해 놓고 저희들이 순천만에는 갈대가 상당히 많이 있습니다. 갈대 같은데 엊그저께 태풍도 불었습니다만 이런 폭우라든가 태풍이 불 때 되면 순천의 동천에서 흘러나오는 각종 그 오염물이라든가 쓰레기가 순천만에 몸살을 앓고 있습니다. 그것을 치운다든가 갈대를 벤다든가는 지역 주민들이 다 하고 있습니다. 갈대 베는 사업도 1년에 한 700명 정도의 어르신들이 갈대를 직접 베고 거기에 대한 수익도 한 2억 정도 됩니다. 그래서 순천만의 지역 주민들의 일자리라든가 경제 활성에 큰 도움을 주고 있습니다. 그래서 어떻게 보면은 지역 주민과 관과 민이 이렇게 협력, 윈윈하는 그런 순천만이 지금 되고 있습니다. 그래서 관광객이 200만 명, 230만 명까지 와서 요즘에는 이제 그 어떤 차량에 대한 몸살을 앓고 있습니다만 저희들이 차량에 대한 몸살을 뭐 주차 예약제 앞으로는 2019년도에 그 유네스코에 자연유산을 등재를 준비 중에 있습니다만 그때는 아마 사람에 대한 예약제도 실시하지 않을까 그렇게 준비하고 있습니다.
예, 결국 진정성 있는 어떤 대화라든가 노력들이 지역 주민과의 갈등을 해결하고 또 더 좋은 관계로 회복되고 서로 지역의 발전 그리고 지역 주민들이 거기서 이익을 얻을 수 있는 구조로 갔다는 걸로 이해할 수 있습니다. 우리 한나 제미슨에게 여쭤보고 싶은 거는요. 사실 시드니 하면 세계적인 관광지입니다. 많은 관광객이 세계 곳곳에서 오게 되는데 특히나 이 숙박이라든가 교통이 지속 가능성에 대한 운영과 관련해서 외국인 관광객들의 어떤 그 편의성은 어떻게 제공되고 있는지 그거를 한번 그런 사례들이 있으면은 좀 말씀을 좀 해주시면 고맙겠습니다.
Thank you. Great question. I think you mentioned accommodation and transport, two very important things for our international visitors when coming to Sydney. We're very lucky in Sydney that our international airport is 8 kilometres from our central business district that houses a majority of hotels in Sydney, so it's not a great deal of distance to travel. We have train access, we have taxi access and the like, and Sydney Airport is working on improving accessibility to the airport as part of their master plan, so that's certainly something that's being focused on. I touched on public transport, which is something that the state government is looking at improving in terms of how we link our central business district with our inner city suburbs. We've got a couple of light rail projects and also a light rail project in Western Sydney that will be a great benefit to the visitors. Accommodation is a good one in Sydney. Obviously, we have a limited amount of land in that central business district because we are effectively linked by water to our northern Sydney suburbs. We have a number of fantastic hotels that are coming on board in years to come. We have the ICC hotel that will be opening in September next year, and I think that's been a great example of planning our convention precinct and looking at what's needed in that particular area and creating a walkable space for convention delegates. So we have another 600 rooms coming online right beside the convention centre, as well as some other hotels being developed within that precinct. Sustainability is an issue that our Tourism Accommodation Australia organisation is looking at, and there'll be a seminar on that in November. So in terms of the development, yes, we are looking to develop more hotels, but we are very aware that sustainability needs to be top of mind in that as well, and making sure that they're in the right locations for the travellers and where they want to visit.
네, 감사합니다. 결국 시드니도 지속 가능성에서 제가 알기로는 상당히 앞서 나가는 그런 어떤 그 모범적 도시로 알고 있습니다. 그래서 우리나라 특히 요 개체 지역인 수원도 잘하고 있지만은 이런 선언적인 경험들을 우리가 잘 받아서 우리에게 적용했으면 좋겠다는 생각이 들고요. 우리 그 루이스 닥터 창 루이스에게는 재밌는 연구였어요. 굉장히 재밌는 연구였는데 버드 와칭이라든가 근데 이제 연구 전반적으로 보면 이제 레크레이션 액티비티에 가까웠다고 생각이 들고 제가 이제 고민하는 거는 지속 가능성이라는 것은 환경적 지속 가능성도 있지만은 사실은 경제적 지속 가능성도 굉장히 중요하단 말이거든요. 근데 지금 현재 교수님의 연구에서는 경제적 지속 가능성에 대한 언급은 없다라는 생각이 들어가지고 이 내추럴 베이스드 액티비티를 통해서 그 지역이라든가 또는 그 관련된 자원들은 경제적 지속 가능성을 어떻게 담보해낼 수 있을지에 대한 의견을 좀 여쭤보고 싶습니다.
Well, actually, I also have another research doing the environmental economics aspect to seeing how our natural resources in Hong Kong will be able to generate economic sustainabilities. And actually, because we have a very good locations of our nature-based destination, because visitor they only spend like a half hour they will be able to get into right in the middle of the country park or right at the top of the mountains. And actually we are promoting actually in Hong Kong that encouraging those visitors to visiting not only in the city area of Hong Kong, but also they spend one more days to stay behind in Hong Kong to visit those natural area, including we've got Global Geopark, we've got a Ramsar site, and also we've got a 24 country parks. And now there actually is many people, particularly Japanese visitor, they are not only visiting the city area in Hong Kong, and they also spend like 2 or 3 days to doing bird watching and also hiking in Hong Kong. And when we are calculating how much they were going to spend in accommodation, transportation, cushions, and so on and so forth, actually it's a kind of money that we'll be able to generate if they are stay behind 1 or 2 days in Hong Kong. We are not, because we are actually such a small place, okay, and we wouldn't promote kind of like a nature-based tourism for overseas or international visitor, because it's not attractive comparing with like Korea, right? So we will try to use nature-based destination, try to retain the visitor, right, to stay one day or even half day in Hong Kong, and then it will be also generate some tourism monies for the communities.
네, 전략적 부분에서 단순히 이제 환경적인 문제만 고민하는 건 아니고 경제성을 어떻게 회복하거나 또 지속 가능성을 가져오기 위해서 결국 방문객들의 어떤 그 스테이 기간을 좀 늘린다거나 또는 이 액티비티를 연계성을 주는 그런 좋은 방안들을 이제 가지고 있다고 대답해 주셨습니다. 전반적으로 우리도 그런 부분에서 함께 액티비티의 연계성과 지역의 연계성 그리고 지속 가능성의 각각의 세부 캐테고리의 연계성을 고려하지 않으면은 실제로 추구하는 지속 가능성을 담보해내기가 어려울 거라고 보고 있습니다. 오늘 우리 함께 지속 가능성에 대해서 고민해 주신 세 분의 패널께 다시 한번 감사의 뜨거운 박수를 부탁드리겠습니다. 네, 세션을 여기서 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you to all the speakers and our moderator, Professor Daekwan Kim. We had a great presentation with inspiring contents. So this is the end of our session, and we're going to come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the same place right here. And also, we are going to hold the session B at the Ansela Hall at the same time. So, thank you all for your participation, and hope you enjoy your dinner tonight, and see you tomorrow. Thank you.